Well, we are all familiar with our city's 4-quadrant system, but that is all about to change, at least from a real estate standpoint. RE/MAX's Sam Correa is here to explain. Nice to see you this morning.
Morning.
So explain what's going on here. What are these changes?
Yeah, we're big changes coming out January 5th, and certainly we're going from 4 quadrants that we're, as long as I can remember, we've always had, to 8. And there's going to be a lot of mass confusion come January 5th.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's
Yes.
definitely changing pretty dramatically. And of course, the concern for you, and we'll get into some of your clients' concerns in a moment, is there are implications in terms of property value. We're going to start with the city center and just have a look at some of the issues that you've sort of outlined there first.
Yes. Well, city center is actually a new quadrant that's coming into play. And I think there's a few communities that a lot of people assume, just by the natural division of where the roads are, from Crowchild Trail to some of the inner city locations that we're used to, are actually not in that boundary.
Right.
So I think a big one for me is North Glenmore Park.
Right.
We're looking at Curry Barracks. Some of these did not make the what we call city center.
And so, of course, those considered central when it comes to selling your home or buying a home. There is it a cachet associated with it, or I mean, how does it impact in terms of the property value?
I think what's happening is definitely going to be some winners and there's going to be some losers coming out of this.
Yeah.
And certainly for me, there has always been some cachet in saying inner city, and some people just didn't make the cut.
Okay.
So
Another very interesting implication is that there are actually some communities that will be disappearing.
There's going to be, I think, 9 in total.
Right.
And the big ones that will be disappearing are, of course, all the estates community will be gone.
Okay.
So there'll be no longer any estates associated with those communities.
So obviously, I mean, right away you can see there would be some potential implications for property value if you go from an area that has an estates on the end of it. There's an expectation there. If that disappears and gets sort of dissolved into the rest of the neighborhood, will the price go down for that home?
I think the perception at first is going to be they've lost that cachet of being like an Oak Ridge Estates. And so certainly there's going to be a lot of people that will be a little upset here come January 5th. And,
okay, I think we've got a list here.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So some new communities, for example, there that you see on the board will be Garrison Woods, of course, which is there, but have been rolled into some communities like the Slopes. Signature Park is now going to be a very large community encompassing Signature Park, Richmond Hill, Sienna Hills.
Okay.
Certainly Westover. There's some new communities in here that if you wanted some information, we'll be able to have it on our website today too.
The Slope's a very good example. I mean, we profiled that a home in that community, and I mean, certainly some very specific cachet associated with that community.
Well, in the past, it used to be its own community, of course, and now it's just rolled into, I believe we're calling that into Signal Hill.
Okay.
So that's certainly going to be a change for a lot of people there, and going from 4 to 8 communities is happening here.
Yeah. What are you hearing from your clients on this?
So far, the few people that have that know about it, and that's the thing, it's not really even released yet.
Right.
This, of course, is coming live January 5th. But a few people that we've brought to their attention are some people are a little concerned. Right. Most particularly North Glenmore Park, which I grew up in that area and always thought it to be deemed as an inner city, is actually now considered West Calgary.
Right.
And so, so that's area where I would say I probably would voice my opinion and maybe have changed.
And so just so people are clear, this isn't going to change your address. It doesn't mean if you're living there that you would add a sort of a different suffix at the end of your address. This is for if you're doing an MLS search or if you're talking to a realtor, for instance.
That's right. So I think it's definitely kind of following the city census and is the whole concept here. So you can see the map there from 4 to 8 communities. And there's no more Southwest, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
There's just West Calgary and South Calgary. And certain areas that were in Southeast Calgary last quadrant are now in actually West or South Calgary. So
maybe some benefit there for some communities?
Yeah, I think that one's a big one. Some of the lower Southwest that were Southeast down there, I think, are going into South. I think that's a benefit for them.
Okay.
I saw some other benefits throughout some of the communities here. A new one that I thought was very interesting is there's a new district now called Chinatown.
Okay.
And we hadn't had that before.
Interesting.
So certainly that's a new one.
Yeah.
I think that's coming in.
And it's not a done deal. People can appeal this process until January 5th. How would they do that?
So info at creb.ca is the email address. You can reach out to the real estate board, or 311. You can talk to the city still and voice your opinion.
Okay, and then come January, you're going to have to Familiarize yourself with MLFs if you like doing that on the weekend.
Mass confusion.
There you go. Great
Yeah.
stuff as always. Thanks, Sam. Remax is Sam Korea, and for more information, you can head to samkorea.ca.
The Market, sponsored by Sam Korea of Remax House of Real Estate.